I dare say they want to keep it out of May's hands by bombing long, but as you called, you've still got to play the game on its merits.
Yeah, and it's slippery conditions too, so we love the fast footy, but with fast footy, if you over possession, you put at risk losing the ball, and the opposition sweat the turnover.
Second half underway, and Miller with possession 24 gets the clearance to Chol. Wheels around, sends it long. Hasbolt, great hands.
Well, that is the old Ruckman hits it to the Rover. Rover kicks it to the centre half forward. Centre half forward wheels around, kicks it to the full forward. The finishing line, though, is full forward kicks the goal.
Yeah. Come on, Levi.
Come on, Levi.
I tell you what, he almost crushed the footy, though.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. It was like a vice. Just went in and just popped it.
It's just a good hit out to advantage, too. Tuke Miller did the U-turn and bolted.
Yeah, they almost out Melbourne. Centre clearance to goal. And the momentum.
Well, it's been one of the great features of the year to date, Lynchy, these clearances from the centre.
Oh, absolutely. And the ability to get out in the front. Almost an unpressured clearance. And Miller's class and Chol, his athleticism has been good. It's the best 5 possession game I've seen for a long time. But then that grab from Casbolt. Now, they just need him to do that. He's not always going to take those grabs, but it's a massive bonus when he can take the grab and, importantly, convert.
What a pure centre bounce clearance.
Yeah, it was a beauty.
And he just ran the little arc through there. Tuke Miller lost his opponent. I think it was Viney trailing him in. Probably thought Max was going to make a 50-50 out of that, but they just rolled downhill from then. And yeah, what a grab by Levi Casbolt.
Went out of fashion for a while, the value of the centre clearance. We'll win it back and half back. But it's back in vogue. 6-6-6 has helped it get back in vogue. Neil Bullen, little slap on. Petrarca, little kick on. Ellis hammered, could have raffled it. Fritsch, high contact.
Well, the replay will tell all here, but it's a solid blow. He's grabbing his head and sorting the hair out, so it must have taken him high, but it was a hard ball to win, and he stood up. What a player he has become over a short period of time.
He got a bit of a face plant there as well when he got banged to the ground.
Not a lot of opportunities for him tonight, but you'll want to make the most of this one.
For the instant reply to the Suns' first goal of the half. Confident kicking motion and straight through the middle.
Yeah, he's come a long way, Bailey. He was left out of that prelim final a number of years ago over in the West. And yeah, it didn't look too bad, but clearly he got him just with the right hand. Oh, no. On replay. He was unlucky.
Been given a little charity there.
Yep.
No, you take him when you can get him.
It's such a beautiful kick.
Yeah, isn't he?
Under pressure in the grand final, he delivered. Yeah, Swallow be pretty disappointed in that. The replay showed that really he didn't take his head. It was a legitimate tackle, but he nailed it, the goal.
Yeah, the slap of bodies made the violent action of Fritsch going to ground quickly. That's what the umpire saw.
Back to 14 points. Gawn to Petrarca. He fends off and goes. And again, they're out the front, Melbourne. Handball a bit too far out in front of Viney. Kicked off the deck by Lemons, and it'll work.
That was a good battle through the middle of the ground. That was a brilliant tap by Max to advantage.
High bomb. Chol can't get a run at it, but he might crumb it. He gathered, spent it before he earned it, turns back inside, turns onto his left, and misses.
Yeah, lack of awareness there. I mean, footy world should know that Narbia is going to come onto his left, and they just all ran as if he was going onto his right. So got away with one there, the Demons defenders.
May hits in that Gawn and Brown direction. A little bit of hand from Gawn and head from Brown.
Oh, good throw.
Rowell. Half a handball from Atkins. Collins hammers it to half forward. Big pack. Casbolt took them all down. It's like Skittles. Free kick.
Because their 5 blokes thought they deserved it. Nick Holman copped one in the chops. He thought it was his.
So Rivers back to the wing. Gawn again the target. 3 against him. Ellis crumbs it nicely. Atkins is getting a bit of it. Bounces it to half forward. Holman read it. Knew he was about to be caught. Gathers on the left. Got a fair bit on it. Goal square. Lukosius can't mark it. It's had a lean night at the office so far. Chol takes May to the ground.
Asking the question, maybe, or Chol as well. The eyes were wide open, just hoping the umpire would say, that's not a real attempt. He could do some damage here, though.
So Chol and Gawn down to May. Ricochets off the knee. Oliver. And Collins used his body nicely.
This is where Chol, look at Chol at the top of the screen. He's got to get back and give himself a run-up.
To the front of the pack in the end, through the hands of Witts. Miller. Well, the seas parted for him. Rowell didn't want to have a crack at it. Fiorini did, and that bends beautifully.
It's a fair goal, Jared.
Yeah, Braden Fiorini's always had a lot of talent. He's had a big year last year. He was pretty good. And he's just crumbed this one really nicely. There's one out the back. And Teague Miller, he was the crumber and the giver. And round the corner, that's a big goal on the non-preferred.
Maxie would want another go at spoiling that to someplace different, though. He's put that to the most dangerous part of the ground.
Seventh season now for Braden Fiorini. Picked 20 back in 2015. A stress spot in his ankle a couple of years ago that inhibited his progress. And that was huge.
So this is where Petrarca's been going to work here.
Witt's allowed to go at it freely. Miller was clever enough, then he tried to tow it, and there's the roving of Jackson, but he's caught. Davies, that was a strong tackle, straight jacket tackle.
Didn't he want it?
And quickly thrown in the air. Witts.
Push in the back,
Push in the back.
Well, he's not allowed a blue, but it'd be interesting to have another look at that.
It wasn't in the back.
Yeah,
It was a
look in the
push.
side, it was just the strength you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, push, but not in the back. Spargo.
Play on.
Heads to the pocket. He's got a couple of options out there. Fritsch from behind, forced to punch. Only meeting between these two teams this season, unless they meet in the finals, of course. This is their one and only matchup for the home and away. Powell got to flick a handball out. Goes back in to get it, ran into a roadblock, brick wall. Jordan throws it away, got away with it. And nicely struck by Sparrow. Missed to the near side.
Yeah, they need more out of Spargo. Josiah Pickett. 6 possessions between the two of them. Bailey Fritsch has just chimed in for the 4, but at least he's got a goal. Pickett's scored a major as well, but they haven't been totally involved in the contest. There's a bit of upside to them still to come.
Did well there, Powell. He had nowhere to go, didn't want to turn it over. Thinking they're picking their way through the Melbourne grid. Anderson had right of way on Miller. Down the line, kick superb to Casbolt.
He's marking them beautifully, Lynch. How's the conditions?
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Light rain just starting to fall.
Oh, don't wreck a good story, Lynchy. Light rain. It's been a beautiful night. Bowie wide, and he finds Pickett still
I was just
marking.
trying to polish it up. That was an even better mark.
Lynchy, Joel Smith has got the measure of Lukosius at the present time. Is there a spot change for him?
Yeah, get up behind the ball, I would have thought, into the play.
Hunt in full flight. He overcooked that to Spargo. Had to go and get it. Still good enough to... No, he's not. Tried to short it to Petrarca. Lemons got himself out of a squeeze. Towards Sharp on the boundary. Ball in.
Gee, that was brave by Melbourne when they ditched it into the back of the centre square. A 1-on-2 But then when the troops arrived, they just completely overpowered the Suns and ran the ball forward. Well worked, good system. A little bit of dare, a little bit of bravery to take that shot.
Slap down to the front. Sparrow got there ahead of Anderson. Langdon around his body. Ellis about to grab him. As soon as he grabbed it, Fiorini pumps it down the line. Crunch. Ainsworth down to Miller. Looks up, wants a target. Heads inside 50. Bouncing ball. No push in the back. Sexton thought he deserved it. Crowd thought he deserved it. Jordan to Smith to Jordan. And again, Melbourne with the poise to May.
One of the issues here is that Mabior Chol is having a breather on the bench. So if they don't find Casbolt coming forward with the footy, they've got no other real marking target in the forward half of the ground.
Yeah, I reckon the umpire's right to call that. It was a 50-50 call, but I reckon, Stewie, you'll look at that, so we've got to do something better than this. We've got a bloke streaming into an open forward 50 and we don't actually get a shot at the goal.
Yeah.
And that's maybe where Lukosius can come into play. Play almost the old Tom Lynch, Adelaide Crows link player right up the ground and try to lose his opponent.
He has stayed very deep today, though.
No, absolutely.
Davies.
Been isolated deep and can't get into the contest.
We're seeing a star emerge here, Lynchy.
Yeah, and I think he will go as an inside midfielder, very well equipped to play a big contested game. At 6'3".
Like that.
6'3", is he?
Yeah, 6'3", and just developing nicely, and they just think we'll end up inside mid.
So we look at this now, Alistair, and as you see, Casbolt's got the ball. The biggest target forward of the footy here is Sexton waving the ball on. Lukosius is up there, so they just got to bring it to ground.
So Lukosius has to go for this. Takes a bit of arm. And Holman rolled.
That's
Did he
holding
try?
the ball.
And I think
That's on the ball. He burrowed into that,
I
looking
think
for a
that was
head
a good
high.
result in the end. Going wide, trying to get a stoppage, and Lukosius tried to spoil, so just get at the ground.
Only the 2 possessions so far for Lukosius. Smith, Mayday just gets it out of there. Under siege at the moment, Melbourne. Harms caught. Neil Bullen. Rowell was over him. Ballard slung. Ball forced to Sparrow, to Jordan, to Jackson. Inside to Petrarca, spins out of a jam to Brayshaw. Unbelievably good again, Melbourne.
Wow.
To Bowie.
Look at the run on Petrarca left of screen.
So Spargo looks up. He's got options at plenty. Just has to pick the right one. Goes with the inside kick. Off hands, gone. Anderson got there with a toe. Sharp to Powell. And the Suns dodge a bullet. Wide ball. Tomlinson. Hunt. Wobbles one inside 50. And Rowell stands his ground again like he did last week and got hammered. Happy to take the contact.
Yeah.
And a ball up. He is a bull, Matt Rowell.
That's a perfect tackle.
So's the other bull, but he's a hard-running bull. And I just wanted to highlight the exit from that stoppage, because I think he was against Noah Anderson, who was still deliberating at the stoppage. His man could have been kicking a goal.
Little floater. Lemons did well. Used his body okay. Harms. And that's against the grain. That's a ripper.
I know we've seen some miraculous leaps, we've seen some good goals, but to see Christian Petrarca on that back flank gather that ball under pressure, that was the first defensive effort that pushed the ball forward.
Yep.
I mean, that's a great snap as well, but yeah, sorry for going wow during the call. Clean hands. A little wonder why he's Brownlow medalist. Good snap.
It's a good story, James Harms. He had to work really hard to get his spot. Lost his spot for a period of time, but has come back a really strong player.
Yeah, this time last year was out with a broken wrist. Still got a little bit of blank canvas left on that arm.
That's a big body behind that. Yeah, it is Witsy. So let's see how he jumps here, Mabior Chol, against the talented Jackson.
He's had a rest, Marbia Chol, and up he flies. Jackson, Chol, 2 athletes head to head. Jackson breaks away, breaks through Fiorini. Wants the hand off to Viney. Good dance step. Jackson on the move. Left foot. Drop punt pass. Pickett. Caught low. High enough for it to be a tackle, not a trip. And now he lays the tackle on Atkins.
Well done to Pickett there. He was about to sling and he pulled it up.
Casbolt. Hands have been good tonight. Slips that. It's out of the reach of Holman. Davies with that poise again. Looks up. He goes long though. Had a couple of options short, off hands. Sharp. Didn't kick it. Ball. Langdon's ball.
They're really missing one more target in the forward half of the ground here, the Suns.
Yeah, no King, no Day. Got a few of their key forwards out.
I think they had a shot at playing Josh Corbett tonight as well, but didn't make the final team.
Langdon.
But I'm not sure how long you continue just and hope for a different result with Lukosius. Maybe get him up the ground and kick it in. Maybe go a little bit smaller. I'm not sure, but I agree with you. They look like they need another tall, but Lukosius is not getting in the right spot at the moment. Joel Smith, when he is involved, has got his measure.
Rivers holds it up. 9 minutes left in the third. 14-point margin. It's been out to that a couple of times, and the Suns have been able to rein them back in. Miller slips at the wrong time. Pickett, he tried for the high, didn't get it. Crowd thought he was playing for it. Viney, touch play on, John has to go. He put it to grass. Pickett got a kick on it. Tries for the miracle, doesn't get it to roll for him, and kept in the end by Graham. Could have legitimately taken that through. Holman flies and plucked it. Didn't hold it long enough. Harms. Sparrow. Langdon. Hits a pretty good spot with the kick. Joel and gone. Rao. Intense game at the moment, this contest. Bang! Sparrow dumped. Ran into the windscreen, Sparrow. Rivers on it. Holman's on it.
Good fight. Both teams, really good fight there, Dwayne.
Yeah, I think the crowd a little bit perplexed why there was a free kick for a tight disposal of the ball at one end and not paid at the other.
Down towards Oliver. Rao pursues him. Viney. Pickett got up there. Higher and higher. Kazaya couldn't quite get to mark though. Back outside 50 and Langdon will send it back.
I think that one would have pipped Marbure's.
It's the same spot. There must be a trampoline over there.
Beautiful leap. Gone. It's done to the contest. Chol stayed down.
Yeah,
and was
I don't
clever
like that,
about
Dwayne. He's actually relying on Max missing that mark. Oh, good turn.
Absolutely. Jordan-esque. Heads long.
All right, it's maybe or Chol. That's a big jump, isn't it? Yeah, maybe El Chol is not getting to Max Gawn when the ball's coming into Max's area. I know he's giving. Look at him walking down the centre of the ground here. Max has gassed himself, but maybe it was just not staying with him in the back half.
Casbolt the target. May with the reach down to Bowie. Hit the belly of the ball. Mark will stand though. It travelled the required. Bowie got his own crumb. Ellis playing in front. Knocked it down to his disadvantage though. Sparrow. Fake one way, fake the other. He might just go for goal. Sprays it across the face and behind.
I just think Charles, actually limping from the ground now. It looks like
right.
Whether it's a left glute or hamstring, but he's certainly struggling.
Yeah, he couldn't keep up with him, could he? And Max is not the quickest man in the world either.
So not a good sign for the Gold Coast. Their sub is a small Darcy McPherson. So it's not like they can bring a guy on and he can be their key forward or their ruck. Good mark taken by Davies.
He's been the big plus for the Gold Coast tonight. This kid, the emergence of him.
Yeah, again, game 3 only. 20-year-old. He finds Casbolt.
Now Levi's got to go. Levi's got to go express, and I know it's a hard 8-second run, but he's got to go down there and commit to this. Well, Witsy's down there, so you've got to bang it on top of his head.
Ainsworth long. Jackson stalking it, got up, great grab.
And this is the problem with going slow into the forward line. It allows the likes of Luke Jackson to get back down there. It gets congested. We had a great shot of the congestion. There was nowhere to go. It's it up in the middle, up in the air, I should say, and sets it up for Jackson.
Gawn his target. Punch to the front by Collins. Harms coming against the grain, though. Good effort. Pickett one way. Beeline the ball, ended up stealing it to Rivers. Suns have got an extra behind the ball. They've got a key forward to take the mark, though. Sexton, gee, I thought that was a realistic leap. He got a hand on it. Oh, okay, so it's
Cannon.
actually Collins' ball.
It's the cannon, was it?
Yeah. To the pocket. Again, Melbourne with the numbers. Gawn there. Witts tried to make a contest, and he took Gawn and the ball down. And Gawn's hurt.
Well, if you had 120 kilos run into your back, you'd hurt too. He's a big mountain of a man.
Have a look at this
Wittsy.
for domination. Last 10 clearances, Melbourne have just come to the fore.
Yeah.
Witts down to Miller. He can't get away with it. It'll push to the back.
That's
of
11.
Oliver.
That's 11 in a row. It's not just about a ruckman dominating or not dominating. It's the whole collective around the unit.
Jackson or Brown. It's a block. Jackson comes up with it. Huge 5 minutes coming up in the context of this game. Melbourne have their biggest lead of the game right now, 16 points. Neil Bullen back inside to Smith.
This is going to work for them. They've got extra numbers on the outside here and through the middle.
Tomlinson to Bowie. Poor handball, and they're not going to get away with this. Rivers caught by Davies. Crowd screaming ball. It's still under him. Rao got it up. Ainsworth. Miller on the run. Sees the option short. Just pokes it over the head of Flanders. Had to go and get it. Atkins a chance. Shrug. Handball. Flanders. Shepherd. Coleman. Smith wrapped him up, and Tomlinson saves the day. Hunt. Trying their heart out, the Gold Coast, but Melbourne, as they so often did last season, all the answers. May, Oliver, all the big stars. Got class everywhere.
But if you look at the Melbourne backmen, they're gassed as well. They give everything they've got every time.
It's why those kicks from Tuke Miller have just got to hit a target.
Yeah.
Let it slow down. Let everyone recover. It's it.
Rowell tried to fend off and it didn't work. He was caught. Couldn't get out of harm's way.
Stay with him. Move it on. Play on.
To the pocket. Gawn's down there. Pickett crumbs it. Went between them and kicks one of the goals of the season.
And a fair description, Dwayne. We know it's only a round and a half long, but this is an exceptional goal. A couple of Suns players didn't really commit to the tackle, and they've been exposed badly by Kasaya. Ground ball, look at him. He comes first. Three guys. He waltzes through three of them.
Yeah.
And then kicks a blinder.
Noah Anderson went for the arm tackle there. He didn't put, watch this. He's got to put his chest into it. He's gone for the little Kasaya after this goal. He's gone for the little Eddie Betts stir the porridge. Do we know what that is, Eddie?
I think it's look what I've got cooking.
Oh, is that what it is? It's a serious goal. Here we go. Yeah, Noah Anderson had to put the body tackle onto him rather than just the outstretched arm. He was only headed one way when he was in full flight. If he can sidestep and dance around that type of body tackle, well, he's playing on a different plane.
22 points, the biggest margin of the game for either team. Both teams have had 3-goal leads. Bounce in the middle. Gawn and Witts. Viney tried to kick it off the carpet, and Rowell runs away with it to breathe some life. Casbolt flies. Fiorini to the crumb, almost Sexton bangs it around the body. And he's hit the belly of the ball as well.
Fiorini deliberately knuckled that backwards over his head to try and hit it to his teammates' advantage. Clever, deft little tap.
It just seems it's just not in sync, this forward line, though. Lukosius is a lead-up player, and he's trying to be an overhead mark player.
Yeah. And again, there's no Rankin as well to crumb it when it goes forward, so they lost him.
And what they're doing essentially is they're just wasting inside 50 opportunities. So the endeavour's there. I mean, everybody's going to give them a major plus for how they're going about it. And right now, up against the Premier side in the comp, it's a competitive effort. In fact, it's an impressive effort. But there's just so many things that can be just a little bit better with just a tweak here and a tweak there.
So Rankin a late out with a leg injury, and Lukosius stuck on 2 possessions. Big ball to win. Miller, as always, puts his heart and soul into it. Fiorini's had a pretty good night, but he can't hit a target here.
That encapsulates the whole issue for the Gold Coast Suns. It's just that class, that polish going inside 50. So they've got to work extremely hard for every goal.
Yeah, I think even with Fiorini, I mean, he's a much better player than just to throw the ball onto the boot. He wasn't under enormous pressure there. That's a look up, think, wait for someone to move kick.
And Jared, looks like Charles going to come back on the ground. So it looked like it might have been cramp more than that hamstring injury that he had a few concerns with in the community series against Geelong 3 weeks ago.
I think he might have got the oxygen bottle as well.
I think so.
So Gawn's stalking this. Casbolt came, knocked it to Atkins, ran into Neil Bullen, Petrarca, Harms, Brayshaw, that'll skip. Did well there, just keeping it in front, Graham.
And that point you just made, Jared, I think the oxygen bottle needs to go at 3/4 time to a lot of the midfield for the Suns. Melbourne's just class and probably experience with more pre-seasons under the belt, just working the midfield over, and they're just starting the drop tackles and drop-off contests.
Chol goes to the right-hand side of the screen now and will give a better aerial contest.
Anderson clever to get that little trickling kick to half forward. Rail tries to keep it in.
Thing is, Alex Sexton is one who's very capable at leading from the goal square. He just seems to be second-guessing him, lost a little bit of confidence, and obviously the midfield want to put it to best advantage, and they're under a fair bit of pressure against the best team in the comp as well. This type of lead.
Fiorini again, spare man behind the ball. Well, Smith dropped it and he mopped up his mess very quickly. Brown got there with the fly. Off hands. Again, a big ball to win with a minute left. Melbourne win it. Harms from Oliver to Gawn, who's a little spent, Nick Maxey. He's a little fatigued.
Even if you went up and gave him a mouthful for that, Maxey just raised an eyebrow and just, yeah, whatever. That's one of the great things about Max Gawn. He's pretty unflappable.
Witts works his way to the front, slaps it down. Not sure what that was from Atkins, but it wasn't a handball. Harms, Petrarca, he falls, he claims he was hit high. It's either high or ball.
Tends to fall into the action of the player. Lane.
So he had opportunity to get rid of it here.
Yeah,
He's still got it.
I mean, the umpire had to make a call on this.
So
he hasn't made any attempt to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
It's just a finger in the eye, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's unfortunate for him, and he's entitled to do.
But you can't.
The umpire has to pay a free kick.
She's fallen into the action there, and that's. You've got to still adjudicate the game as the rules say. You can't make a decision or not make a decision on feeling sorry for a player.
52 seconds from 3/4 time. Melbourne have kicked the last 2 goals of this game. Petrarca tried to go off the carpet, tried to have another go. Fiorini picked it up. Brayshaw, Harms, and through Neil Bullen, ball in. Maxey Gawn.
He's cooked, but he'll keep going, the big fella.
He's had a pretty big quarter, Fiorini, with 9 possessions and a goal, but he could have actually had an even bigger quarter, had a couple more kicks, hit targets.
Gawn's slap was as good as a kick. Petrarca gets that kick. Graham feeds it out wide. Miller against the grain, got a handball away to Ballard. Did he accidentally, deliberately fumble that out?
Yeah, he parried it, disguised. Yep.
Jared.
Now, Gorney pushed off Witts from the drop of the ball, and the ball hit the ground. I would have thought that's a shepherding free kick. Oh, Max can't go for this.
So McDonald had to go. Oliver about to pounce. Felt for high contact, and that was clever from Spargo.
Yeah, and a lazy application of the tackle.
Oh, the lazy kick too. Neil Bullen takes it to the line, but still a sneaky chance here. The Demons from the ball in.
Lynchy, they look gassed. I know we're nearing three-quarter time, but they really do look gassed. Is it still pretty warm out there for them?
Yeah, absolutely. 22 degrees after a top of 28 during the day, but humid. So that's why it's slippery as well, but they're starting to feel it now.
Clearance was huge. Up to Harms, and that'll work. It'll bend back, goal square. Jackson, one grab. Spargo stole it, tried to trickle it on the buzzer. It's a behind. Hot night, hot contest. Melbourne, the reigning premier, brought their big circus to town and lead the last change by 22 points.
The way this is going, that's him and Cripper might be level on six votes each after 2 games apiece.
Well, Cripps couldn't play any better, and this bloke's right on his heels.
I'll tell you what, Luke Jackson's going to give him a run for 3 votes tonight as well, I'd say.
If you're giving the votes out right now, he'd have to be a strong consideration.
And he gets a hit out on cue for you, Jackson. To Oliver, to Viney. Straight down the spine. Gawn playing forward. Had it. Pickett's now got it. Look out. Shrugs the tackle. Unselfishly. Petrarca tried to feed his way through them. Miller. He's been the other guy. He has kept the Gold Coast in it. That looked a little push in the back-ish. That looked a little hold in the ball-ish. May squeezed the kick away.
See how Davey pushed off Smith, though?
Yeah,
he used real power in the contest there.
Well, Smith's a deep defender, so they must have pushed Davies up as another target up forward. 6'3". He could also be one of those incredible players that can play in any position.
Spargo. Heads to the square. That's almost a mark to Collins. He had to appeal.
He did too.
Really had to go to the third umpire to decide it, but he had enough of it and controlled it.
Got a flat hand on the first touch, didn't he, which took the pace off it. You got to hit that. You got to hit the lemons.
Ballard, 2 lemons.
And Dwayne, you might have picked up that when I said that Christian Petrarca's on world record pace for inside 50s. I didn't say what the record was.
Yes.
Because I didn't know at the time. I was still researching. So he's on 14. The record is 16. Held by the likes of Josh Kelly, Rashuto, Adam Simpson, and there was one other. But, yeah, so he's not far away from the record.
It's a good crop. It's a nice list of names to be on.
And he's got Fiorini running with him since half-time, so he's doing it well despite the run with.
Oliver part of the seas.
Oh,
and torps it. Collins knew he was going to torp it.
Patrick Dangerfield just texted me and said he was the other, so Dangerfield is the other one of the 4.
Powell with the inside kick, Lukosius.
Did well. Stood under it there, Jack
And
Lukosius.
it's good to see the coach give him an out. I mean, no one wants to just, go kickless right throughout the night. You've got to give kids an out, and it looks like he's pushed him up the ground.
That's the reach of Mabior Chol there. Adam Tomlinson's a wonderful player, great athlete, a great endurance athlete. Hasn't got pure explosiveness, but he's a great endurance athlete, good size. But Chol's outreaching him in the contest when they're one-on-one, and it creates that little grapple where Adam just grabs onto the arm there, and that draws the free kick.
It's got 1-1 so far tonight, Mabior Chol. Kicked 2 straight last week. Been a fantastic addition. And no need to tell you or him how big this kick is. And he blows his lines there.
That's fatigue. We've seen him tonight really fatigue as the game's gone on. I mean, everybody does, but he just looks like it's set in a little earlier than some others. It's affected his skills.
May heads in the Gawn and Brown direction, off hands. Sharp. Powell. Miller just keeps on keeping on. Possession number 31 for him. To Holman. Kicks huge through the hands of Ainsworth. It was there. Bowie comes up with it. Viney gave it some thought. Doesn't want to go quickly now.
No one wants to drop it. We know that. But Ainsworth has to make that stick.
Brayshaw, who had a hit so hard earlier on, had his helmet knocked off. Inside kick to Neil Bullen. He blasts it long, hoping for Brown. Big fist knocked it away. Petrarca. Door still open.
Lynchy, I take it that doesn't count as an inside 50.
No, he was inside 50, unfortunately. We wanted a bigger snap. There's a good move for you, Jared. Lukosius half back.
Yeah, well, I think you just got to give yourself... You can't just set and forget. If it's not working, something has to change and give the kid a chance to get his confidence up.
Great run.
Casbolt to Miller. Lace out to Holman.
Ooh, did he play on? Well, he adjusted his step to play on, but he didn't go off the line. These are the type of goals that Melbourne have been kicking and the ones that the Suns have not stuck. So this is a difference in the two teams, inside forward 50s.
Is he having a shot here? Dermot's going to pop it up for Big Marby or at the top of the switch.
Oh, well, he's got the distance covered, so if you're going to be a forward, you're a pressure forward, but you want to do some damage on the board at some stage. Yeah, he's popped it up.
Kind of did neither. Bowie didn't have it.
Rest assured, he was having a shot there.
Okay.
You reckon he was?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just cooked.
Yep.
And to qualify Lukosius half back, he was playing at high half forward and he just worked back into the defensive 50, which I think he should be doing to try to drop his opponent.
Gornicked out of it by Ballard, legally. Ballard hits a pretty good spot with that kick, although Bowie is in the middle of three.
He's having a big game, Bowie.
Yeah.
To May in game 50 as a demon. To Pickett, who is off and running. Puts it out in front, laced out with a ribbon on it to Langdon. To Hunt, to go coast to coast. Hit the belly of the ball, horrible kick. And handball smothered from the hand of Ellis, out of play.
I reckon if you're a midfielder and you're playing against the Demons, the thing you don't want to see at the 10-minute mark of the final quarter is Ed Langdon on his bike.
Yeah.
You're not catching him, and he's just getting stronger at this stage.
Jackson and Wirtz, Petrarca, good battle that with Miller. Oliver crushed. Kicked away by Swallow. Gawn, May, Lukosius, Casbolt off the carpet. The goalkeeper's back there though, Smith. He sits that a little. But Jordan good enough. And he hits his target, Neil Bullen as well.
Kick.
He sits that a little too much for Jordan to try and repay the favour. Jordan sees that out. One of the great mnemonics of world sport, the Jordan 23. Don't need a name on the back of his jumper. It's easily remembered. All about to be tossed back. Gawn, Witz.
Let's hit Witzy in the number.
They dance. Neil Bullen got it from Sparrow and rolled it a little too wide for Petrarca.
Well, I reckon I've competed in a couple of ruck hit-outs, but I would imagine that if you are turned in the ruck contest so that it hits you in the back when it lands, there's got to be a free kick one way or the other, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Harms found some room when there wasn't a lot in. Pickett.
Well, the difference between the two sides has mainly been composure with the ball. When both sides have had a genuine crack today, I think that, you know, the defence of the Gold Coast lacks a little bit of polish, but around the ball, Melbourne have just been so much more efficient with the footy. And this is a classic case. It looks like an absolute dry ball. Pressure's dropped off from the Gold Coast, but that is a great kick.
Beautifully weighted.
Yeah.
In skips Pickett. He's kept the door open.
And you can see the exasperation on Will Powell, who's looking after Pickett. He's saying, well, you know, we cannot defend if you're not putting some pressure on at the source. And it's great to see Will Powell so exasperated. He's trying to drive his teammates on and to get a higher standard of what's acceptable.
That forward line is, I know it's not going to be there, but for the model they built tonight was tailor-made for King to be in there.
Yep.
That's the model that they want.
Yeah, they just looked as if they were missing that one extra.
Yep.
Jordan gets that back inside 50. Holding the man Graham free. And Miller wants to go to the open side with possession 33. Powell, still some belief amongst the Suns. Sharp to half forward. Lukosius gets up there, makes a contest, but fisted it straight to Hunt, who turns it straight over to Witts. Swallow. May getting back, stands his ground, crunched by Holman, no free. Bowie kicks it away. Swallow will kick it back in.
Yeah, Steve May's a bit stiff there. I'm with you, Dwayne.
Back to that spot. May's about to go back, taking all contests, come what may. And he's about to get this free kick in the back pocket, the ex-Gold Coast Sun. Stephen May, game 50, as a demon. Got sunburn on the roof of his mouth, playing here, watching the ball go over his head so often as a Sun. Now a premiership player and All-Australian. Bowie long to half-back. Melbourne not yet able to put the Suns away. Neil Bullen caught. Miller to Sharp. Pickett runs him down, pressurises the kick. Casbolt's there. Big fists go up. Davies crumbed it. Harms. Tomlinson. Smith. Jordan told to go. And he finds McDonald with class. 4-goal margin, 11 minutes left. Jackson flies. Ellis about to send the Suns to attacking 50. Gawn stalking it, gets up there. Lukosius made a contest. Bowie, amazing crumb again. Graham flies with McDonald. Thumped back in by Fiorini, but it's all Melbourne, and it's May again.
That kick has to be pulled. You've got to get a sneak view of the landscape ahead of you and kick the ball to somewhat, just a smidgen of an advantage.
Neil Bullen, so they're almost just taking time off the clock, Melbourne, as opposed to adding to their score. Content to play with it and play with the Gold Coast. Gawn, he's spent. Power got it up just in time to Anderson. Long bomb, goal square. Skips across the line for a ball in.
So this is a question now. We'll see the way they operate. Does Shuey dictate that Casbolt goes for it or Witts comes down? So he's going to come down. He's going to match Gawn down here. So they're not going to give Melbourne extra numbers down here in terms of midfielders that come down closer.
Anderson got a kick away and the door is still open. It's a 3-goal game.
So that's the body of Witts. He's able to stand up to Maxi Gawn. It makes a bit of a 0-all draw. They're both really tired, but see, they both... Witts forges to the front. Goes for the tap in front. Miss hits a bit. But it's a 50-50 ball thereafter.
Yeah, good goal. You know, when you got the pressure of Viney right behind you, you've got to be clean. You've got a half chance. You only got a half chance. And he made it. Well played.
See, Witts was motioning forward in the ruck, and it looked like he wanted to pat it forward. Rowell was running to that spot, and he took 2 opponents with him. He kind of muffed up the tap out, went backwards a little bit, and that's where Anderson seized on it and just had that extra metre or so space in front of him, allowing him to get the shot away.
Yeah, it's good control under pressure. Viney had an arm around him almost immediately.
Got to jump here. He's got to jump as high as he can still, Mabior Chol.
Gawn, the palm down. Fiorini tried to go off the deck. Viney. Rouse over him. Ball up, the decision. Gorn with the fist down into some space. Good attack from Harms and Powell and Neil Bullen. And he gets it back for his trouble. Heads toward goal.
Look,
it's an even 3-goal lead. 18 points to margin, 9:25 left.
Looked really good there, charging through the pack. Took the body hit and just kept motioning forward.
Well, they're going to have to take a risk here now, the Gold Coast. They're going to have a fast run out of time.
Lemons long to Lukosius, who again makes a contest with a fist and halves it. Sparrow, Oliver. Precision ball used to Langdon. Back to Oliver. Through a couple of sets of hands. Brown lurking. Fridge feeds it back out. Viney caught by Lemons. Got his hands free. McDonald breaks a tackle. Gets a kick towards goal. It's a 2-on-1. Might be a handy point. 19 points. 9 minutes left.
Surprised Atkins didn't try and mark that. The contest in the goal square was a 1-on-1, and it would have been an easy chest mark, and the man standing the mark after the mark has to come out to the end of the goal square. So they now need a minimum of 4 scoring shots.
Big fist to Smith, sees it out. Simon Goodwin.
He stopped jumping at it, Chol. I think you're right, Lynch. He's probably got an ailment that he's just tweaked it. Well, no one's up against him here.
Can take it out of the air, will he?
Oh,
Throw! Rowell over it, can't get away the 2 balls. Rowell and Petrarca. Petrarca got his arms free. To Harms, to Sparrow, great smother by Atkins.
Petrarca handballs with an open hand a fair bit as well in tight. I reckon that last one was one of those, but Marvin yours looked a definite throw.
Jackson.
He's given up front spot there.
Chol reached down. Rowell in the middle of it. Jeez, tough.
He's got a wing tackle on him there.
Oh. Okay.
Finally put the tackle on the left arm.
Yep.
Sparrow put the body tackle on.
Pulls the kick to the pocket. That was nicely delivered to Brayshaw. Time in their favour. Score in their favour. Brayshaw wanted to take his full allotment of time, and the umpire said, no, you're not having a shot. And he wasn't, to Petrarca. And he can put a finishing touch on it.
Well, it's a dart. It was a really good kick.
So
Kev's gone in the rack a little bit, I think, defensively for the Gold Coast.
can we get Alistair to send the runner out? Kick it from outside 50?
to get the record.
Absolutely, he's going to blow that record, but he's on track to get a PB as far as disposals. This will be disposal 38. Remember from the grand final, his PB was 39.
Yeah, 38 possessions last week and 19 clearances.
Yeah, wow.
And in he struts with possession 38.
Didn't really get a lot of forward momentum before he got into his last 2 steps.
He's got 38. Oliver's got 33. Bowie's got 31. Neil Bullen's had a big last quarter. He's racking him up now with Harms, 22 and 21. So they've shared the workload as you have to do.
So straight down the staples. Time is of the essence now. Lukosius a little slap on nicely to Ainsworth. To Sexton. Got up there. Tried to slap it to his own advantage to the front, but Hunt knew exactly where he was going. To Bowie, who's been solid again under immense pressure. May slaps it to, well, Sparrow or the boundary. Take your pick.
In better times, Alex Sexton tries to mark that. He tried to pat that down then.
You're not sure where he's at.
Lacking confidence.
Out of the side last week. Late inclusion this week.
Once that ball goes to ground and he's a 1-on-3,
Yeah.
he's gone. He has to mark that. So give it your best shot.
Miller has not stopped trying, never does. Good attack from both players there. Fiorini one way, Rivers the other.
Oh, they've paid that in the back this week. Fell forward in the tackle there, young Trent Rivers.
So he can cut this margin back to 14 points with just under 6 minutes left.
It's been the issue all night. Skills going inside forward 50 and skills once you're in there looking at the goal face.
That's what he has ahead of him. This kick to keep the game alive and kick the door back open. And he pulls it to the near side. Made to Brayshaw. And again, time on their side, no need to do anything crazy. 19 points the margin. Big fist of Graham wins out. Fiorini. He had Rivers to cross and he couldn't quite get past him. Rivers dives back in again. Viney. Hunt. McDonald and the fist of Swallow. Five minutes left. Crowd's got their money's worth.
You're a long way back.
Gold Coast led by 15 points early. Melbourne with all the class up there right after that. Rivers back towards the wing. Graham, McDonald, Swallow, Sharp. I need a hero in a hurry. Casbolt, Ainsworth, who's going to be in it? Holman tried to slip the handball through the traffic. Viney caught. Ainsworth wrapped him up and it might be in the back.
Yeah, it's definitely been a change in the back, and I think the right change.
If the ball getter wins those 50-50s, which is fair enough.
He gets driven into the ground.
Yeah.
Almost turned him then, but in the end just fell into his back.
Play on.
McDonald, well, it went through Charles' hands.
Yeah.
He knew, but the umpire also knew. Anderson, a little flick on. Ainsworth. Good, he'd been shouldered by Viney, or was it?
Melbourne,
Yeah.
Jack Viney.
Yeah, Jack Viney went to lay a shepherd there.
Yep.
And the Suns player, oh, there you go. There's got a bit of clarity. That's a big split.
Yeah,
That is a big split on Nick Holman's eye there. Much loved member of the Suns. Watch Viney come in from the left.
Ooh.
Oh, that's why he held on.
Head to head.
Is that choosing to bump?
Yeah, well,
He's choosing to shepherd more to take his space, wasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah,
although
he went past the line of the ball to go.
it's a difficult one for the MRO because if your head hits their head and you choose to bump or shepherd,
I think it's play on, but
Yeah.
just the way they write the law now and the way they wanted it. He's lost half his eyebrow here. So he's... Oh, no, he's at the ball.
yeah, he's
Still at the ball. Yeah,
he's
that's
allowed
good.
to turn his
Yeah.
body into the traffic as he's collecting the
Yeah,
ball, isn't he?
he's at the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holman, Gold Coast.
Holman's going to have to come off. But I think we all breathe a sigh of relief that that's the outcome
Yeah.
with Viney. It didn't look malicious. It just looked like a legitimate attempt at the ball.
It
With
wasn't
a correct
malicious.
turn your body in.
It wasn't malicious, but he knew what he was doing and he wanted to take Holman down.
Long way back. Top one's here.
He worked the angle
Yeah.
very well.
Bringing you up for evidence if it does go that far. Ball knocked down towards Miller. Again, just keeps on trying.
Great tackle.
36 possessions for Took again tonight in this fight.
Once again, though, it's further evidence of this issue of trying to legislate against accidents. I mean, you go back to David McKay last year where there was the hue and cry over
Cairns, wasn't it?
Well, he had his hands on the ball and took out the young
Hunter
bloke,
Clark.
Hunter Clark. But he was attacking the ball just as hard as anybody else.
Jared, Melbourne.
Yeah, I
mark.
agree with that.
Twice now they've gone to the tribunal. The tribunal said no, that's not the game.
Yeah. He'll watch this one out. He's not going back out there because they can't get that stitched quick enough.
Anderson to Rowell. He couldn't fend them all off.
Melbourne.
And he was gone.
Stay with him. Go out. Clear out. Stand.
Big Maxi
Play on.
knows this one's pretty much in the bank. Heads wide. Jackson had a great night at the office. They cut him some slack. He's got plenty of credits in the bank. As Luke Jackson was superb early.
Jared, Melbourne, Max.
And in the last 2.5 minutes, Christian Petracca is on 39 possessions.
Flick down. Hand out from Neil Bullen. Max gone towards Jackson at half forward. And there's a lot of tired boys out there. Simon Goodwin, the premiership coach, 6th season as Melbourne coach.
Luke.
Took them from 9th 2020 to premiers in 2021. Two-time premiership star as a player as well. Really grown into that coaching role. Miller got it from Atkins. Heads toward the wing. Gawn fights on, knocks it down to the front. May out of his postcode all the way up to the wing. To half forward, finding the contest, fair into the crumb. Anderson turns out a one, ducks away from another.
Got
Atkins.
through.
Smith got up there. Chol with the contest. Davies lifted his arms above them and parted the seas, got between them, gave it to Ballard, and Lukosius gets a rare moment of joy. He can have a crack and kick himself what's going to be a consolation prize, you would think.
And this, you can see that move is the move that Stewie Jew has in mind with him playing there. But they have bombed the ball to the goal square and haven't won enough ball in that area to ping it into that sort of 35 area for this guy to have an influence.
And he drills it. So it's 13 points with 1 minute left.
Light night, but he joins Levi Casbolt and Noah Anderson on 2 goals. They needed a 3 or a 4 somewhere along the line from somebody in the forward half of the ground. That was well done by Ballard too.
Yeah, you just follow Lukosius, and he positioned himself. He knew he had space up the ground. The ball just had to fall his way or fall his teammates' way, which it did.
I know we don't like to talk about spirited losses all that much, but these two teams met last season. Gold Coast were absolutely demolished by Melbourne. Only met once last year. Melbourne by 98 in that game. Witts flicks it down. Petracca gets a clearance of sorts.
And his 40th.
Yeah, I think the point you're making, Dwayne, this is a pretty impressive effort by the Gold Coast. When you're coming up against the Premiers, who are, you know, they've got a lot more talent, a lot more depth of talent, and a lot more experience.
So they've shown us in some seasons past, as Dwayne pointed out at the start, they've been very good starters. Taking that into account, let's hope it doesn't happen again. Are they a better team this year from what you've seen?
I've got no doubt they are. I mean, this is a different side of the others that have started well. More mature, another 20 games into various people. And Witts is back, which is a big plus.
So Petracca, possession number 41. Wow. To Brayshaw.
But ultimately, this is just a professional kill from Melbourne. They've done what they had to do. Difficult up there in these conditions, and yet they've once again produced a very impressive win.
One last chance for Melbourne to add. Flick toward the boundary, and even Petracca happy to let that one go out rather than fight on for it.
It has been a grind win for them, but ultimately in the end it's their class that's got them over the line. When they've come forward to the centre, their class kicking goals which were less than 50-50 percentage.
And I think they know their game better. I mean, they went through periods where they had too many guys at the ball and turned it over a lot, but they are now the best side in it by a long way.
So Melbourne, a couple of goalkeepers waiting back for it. Melbourne wins and class wins in the end. 12-10-82 to 10-9-69.
Stephen May given a few moments of trouble.